Hello, everyone, and welcome to Testing Grounds, a show about new games and the speedruns around them. Today, we're going to be showing off Mafia Definitive Edition here with WRP Beater, as well as Wafu on commentary. Before that, I have a couple of announcements. So we have an all-women speedrunning event, Frame Fatales, returning with another event, Fleet Fatales, online on November 15th to the 21st. You can go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info. GDQ 2021 online is January 3rd to January 10th, 2021. The schedule will be out on November 9th, so just a few days away for the schedule. Prize submissions open in 2 days on November 8th. So if you're preparing any prizes for HEDQ, submissions will be from November 8th to December 26th. Tomorrow we have a Crash Bandicoot 4 showcase. You can come see runs from that as well as some IL challenges starting at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And with that, we actually have a short video prepared for you all. As we get started into that, I want to introduce both Beater and Wafu. Maybe just get a couple words from both of you, how both of you got into Mafia Definitive Edition speedruns, and kind of a little bit about how the game's developed in the last couple months.
Right, welcome everyone. I am WRP_Beta, and I started speedrunning the original Mafia game in October 2016, after playing it a lot casually. I have, over the years, done many runs of the many different categories of that, as well as made some interesting stuff such as the Chaos mod, which is based on the GTA Chaos mods for Mafia. And of course, when the Definitive Edition came out, I knew I had to speed run that as well.
I'm Wafu, and I have been speedrunning the Mafia original game and Definitive Edition. And I got there basically by being Czech, and this game being very popular in Czech Republic. So obviously it was a good choice for one of the first speedruns. And as I got into glitch hunting, it kind of was very natural for me to destroy this game of Definitive Edition.
I like how you said destroy the game. And yeah, as we're going to get into this video, you're going to be seeing some things get pretty well glitched out. But yeah, with that, we're just going to go into this video. So the three of us will be quiet right now, and then we're going to play the video. And then after that, we'll be getting into an any percent run. So everyone, enjoy the video.
Welcome to Mafia Definitive Edition. This game was released this September 25th. It is built on the Mafia 3 engine and is a remake of the 2002 third-person driver and shooter Mafia. Although the speedrun of the original Mafia game is quite optimized, the run of the remake is still in its early stages.
In the following video, we showcase some of the strats used in the run and some tricks and knowledge which we haven't found a use for yet. We have also included some clips of funny things that may sometimes happen.
On easy difficulty at any point in the game, if we are out of halt and ammo, we can always reload the checkpoint, and it will respawn us with full health and full ammo. And in addition to that, it may despawn some enemies that maybe were in the previous area before the checkpoint, and reset the positions of enemies ahead. As well as that, it may even set Tommy's position forward in some places.
We don't always have to reload our weapons, because sometimes there's ammo lying around, and if we are switched to a different weapon and we walk over, for example, a Thompson, it will fill in the clip automatically. If we, however, have the Thompson in our hand, it is not going to fill it up, it's going to require the reload. So that's why we always switch the weapon if we need ammo now.
Du calme, on attend que mon contact passe.
Throughout the game, there are unfortunately many situations where we are forced to walk and we cannot run. This is one of them. However, we can make this one faster by bumping into Paulie on the right over here, so he gets stuck in the door for a bit, just long enough for me to get too far ahead of him and make him think that I'm falling behind. So he stays there and waits for me, as you can see. This makes it so that I can gain enough distance from Polly that I am not forced to run anymore at a certain point, much earlier than it would be if I could not get Polly stuck. As you can see, I am able to start running right about here. I will still be walking otherwise. Unfortunately, we don't know how to make this consistent, and we would love to be able to find out how to do that. Normally I will start running here, and so it saves about 30-ish seconds.
There's a glitch when if you press W as fast as possible, your character is gonna get stuck like this. And what it does is, after releasing, it will actually launch our character, and we just have to press W again to refresh this. This glitch is actually banned in the regular category because it's physically not really possible to do without a script, so we have a special category for that, but it allows for some nice skips. Although the boosting glitch has a very interesting way to skip some things, it is also very dangerous because it doesn't like uneven terrain, and in some situations this will actually kill you.
We also have a way to wall clip in this game. If I'm carrying a body and crouching, I can walk up to a wall, then look back and look forward again and glitch into the wall. If the wall is thin enough, this allows me to clip through it. In this particular section, we would have to normally walk all the way around and then into this warehouse that I'm clipping into. Unfortunately, clipping into it doesn't actually have any use for now because the scripts are not there.
It is possible to climb up some thin walls in this game, and it is basically done by pressing only space and zooming in with the weapon. Zooming in with the weapon actually moves you a bit less forward, which makes you not fall off some thin edges.
We are able to possibly combine the ability to get up onto unintended railings with some bit of parkour. For example, here on this rooftop section, we're able to get down to ground level without dying, so this may be useful to find some skips.
Sometimes it happens that when we enter an uneven terrain, the game just decides to launch our body and we land in some unexpected places. We don't know how to do this consistently, but this could open up some interesting skips if this was consistent. Sometimes when vaulting over things, we can actually get stuck in the wall, and when we try to go forward, it will actually kill us because the wall boosts us to the side, and that counts as fall damage.
Vehicle physics can also be quite janky. For example, here we see Sam moving towards the car, and then when we look again, whoops! I think what might have happened here is that Sam kind of clipped into the car and then the car physics made it go crazy. But I don't exactly know.
Because car physics in this game are kind of wonky, we actually can explode our allies' cars just by hugging them a bit. That is obviously a thing that you want to avoid in your runs.
Now the scripts in this game are not bulletproof. They can sometimes be broken. For example, here I'm not supposed to be ahead of Polly here. So as I vault over the wall, Polly fails to also vault over the wall, and he gets stuck in the back, where he's just kicking a wall when he's supposed to be kicking a gate ahead. However, this can have some disastrous consequences. For example, here, it was during a run where I'm aware of bad stuff that can happen, so I wait for him to vault first, and I vault after him, but bad stuff still happens. Stay tuned to see the full run in its current state. See you then.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Testing Grounds. Thank you for sticking with us through that ad break. We had just had a great glitch exhibition by WRP Beater and Quiet Wafu. If anyone is interested in, exploring some of those tricks that you saw in that glitch exhibition, maybe trying to find some consistent strats, be sure to visit the speedrun.com page, speedrun.com/mafia_DE. And from there, you can join the Discord and share some strats. That's the thing about a new run. You might not know everything in the game yet. You're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. And you can do that with the Mafia community. So be sure to check out, again, speedrun.com/mafia_DE. And you can find a bunch of things in the left sidebar there. With that, another announcement we have is West Coast Weekend is December 4th to December 6th. The schedule is going to be released on November 20th, so be sure to check that out. And you can learn about all of our Hotfix shows at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. You can submit any ideas you have. If you have a run that might fit the theme for a show, you can submit it there. And if you missed any shows, you can visit our YouTube page at youtube.com/gamesdonequick to check out our VODs. But with that, now is the time for the main event of tonight. We have Mafia Definitive Edition Any Percent, going to be run by WRP Beater. And we're going to have Wafu on commentary as well. So both of you, how are you two doing?
I am doing fine, thank you very much. How about you?
Not bad, not bad. So yeah, if you want to just give us a quick idea of what we'll be seeing here, and then you can give us a countdown for the run when you're ready.
Well, let's see. Even though the original game was mostly about driving, there is not that much driving in this. It's most of the driving is skipped by a game developer intended mechanic called drive skips. And what else? Shootouts, lots of shootouts. Running through stuff, all of that. Okay, so we're doing on easy difficulty. That's because of the load checkpoint thing that we saw on the video. And also because, why not? I am ready to go. Anything else, Waffle?
Nothing else. We can set any difficulty settings we want here, and all of that is just fine. It's up to preference. There's not really a difference. The run is also NG+, but you're gonna find out what that actually means as the difference in Fair Play mission is not such a big deal.
Difference is literally like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Alright, so we can count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
This is scriptless as well, yes. So we will not be doing the boost that you saw in the video.
The boost actually has only 2 usages that were found to be valid. That's not a big deal either. The first thing you can actually notice here is that the car is actually somehow moving forward. That is because the developers added a ram mechanic in the game that is supposed to be used on barricades or other cars to push them a bit more than usual. But it's at the same time increases the speed of the car, so that's why Beater is going to be spamming this button all the game.
I have been told by some people that they find it sickening that the camera moves back and forth. I don't see it.
We use French because it's probably the fastest. It was the fastest in the original game, and here we just have estimation of like how long it is, but we didn't actually measure it.
Here the game wants us to go through some barricades and lose the cars that are chasing us, but we do not need to do any of that. We can simply go towards our destination.
The good thing about the RAM function is actually that not only it gives us a slight boost of speed, it actually helps us in turns. If you played this game and wonder why GDQ is turning so well, it is because he's using the RAM button.
Ça avant.
Moi non plus.
Bon, maintenant, l'Italie.
And now this is the end of the chase, so we are now approaching Salieri's bar, and this will be the end of the first mission.
Je crois que tu devrais la fermer, et qu'on en reparlera quand on sera au bar.
There are plenty of alleys and stuff in this game that the GPS will not guide you through, so it's good to know the route. That's the end of the first mission.
Now, when you started learning this game, did you kind of just go with, kind of a similar route to what the original game was, and then like work from there, or is it like completely different?
There are differences. In the first mission, for example, it's completely different. We go through a tunnel, and that tunnel is not accessible in this part. Actually, it is accessible, but that is not intended and will not allow you to continue the game. Generally, it's similar, but most of the driving is like non-existent because we can skip driving.
Yes, the drive skip means that we're not going to be doing most of the driving, so yeah.
That means if you've seen the original run, this is very different.
So here this mission is called Running Man. We are supposed to drive 5 people around in our taxi. Now this first passenger likes to complain, and if she complains 3 times, then she exits the car, and that's a problem because I can't do a skip then that allows me to skip some of the passengers.
What actually makes her angry is going above certain speed, or going too long on the left side of the route, or crashing into things.
So I need to stay pretty much under 50, otherwise she complains. But now I'm going to pass by the church, which is her destination. And after we're there, I don't care about her complaining anymore.
The interesting thing about the speed limit that we have here is that if we use the RAM button, she somehow ignores if we reach over the certain speed. But if we stay at that speed, she will actually start complaining again.
Oh wow, that was a bad ram. You saw that the ram there pushed me to the right, which is not what I wanted. We're passing by the Hotel Corleone over there, which would be a destination for the second passenger. Because we passed there with a passenger in our car, then the next passenger will not want to go there. Instead, we go straight to the third passenger.
Usually
that's just a fault in the game
here.
coding.
I'm sorry. Usually we stop here at the bridge, but unfortunately because of the crash it was very delayed. So we had to get off earlier.
But it's fine. On all difficulties except classic, the cops will not care about breaking the speed limit, so I can speed by them. Right, so that over there to my right is City Hall. Because I passed by them with a passenger in my car right now, then the fourth passenger who wants to go there will not go there. Will not spawn at all. And because this guy wanted to go to the art gallery, and I just went past. He just gets mad and leaves, allowing me to pick up the last passenger here.
This last passenger just wants us to go to Salieri's bar, and he's gonna give us some recommendation for coffee shop, and that's not gonna go too well for us.
Ça m'étonne pas. Bon, on va où?
L'Italie, 21e rue.
Bon, je dis pas aux flics.
This one actually can't get angry at you, he will never leave the car, he's scripted to just finish the mission.
Marché conclu. Vous avez eu des bonnes courses aujourd'hui?
Ouais, un peu. Mais on en a jamais assez.
Les gens ont plus de fric pour prendre le taxi depuis la crise. C'est la merde. La seule raison qui fait que je prends le taxi, c'est parce que je suis sous et que je suis faible. Les flics voient des poivreaux tous les jours. Ce qu'ils veulent, c'est ceux qui refourguent. On y est presque. Continuez jusqu'à l'angle, s'il vous plaît.
And now we're going to the last part of this mission, which is just running away from two angry gangsters who want to shoot at us.
C'est d'accord?
Merci. Je le ferai peut-être. C'est là qu'ils m'ont repéré. Tu peux rien faire.
So here B3 is actually using a glitch that you probably don't see, but if you spam the shift button or the sprint button very fast while falling, it will actually sometimes cancel the fall animation and it will allow you to run earlier. Sometimes it can even block the fall damage, but that has been proven to be very inconsistent.
I'm actually doing something a bit different. I'm double tapping shift as I land, so that skips the stumbling animation. That's the end of this mission.
So I noticed you said you're double tapping shift. You know, I assume you could probably play this on either keyboard, mouse, or controller. Is keyboard and mouse just faster?
Actually, I play on gamepad for the driving because for me it gives me more control. But honestly, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. But it allows you to skip the cutscenes faster because it, for some reason, reacts earlier.
Oh, interesting.
T'es pas prêt de perdre ton poste.
J'ai horreur d'attendre. Je me fais chier comme un rat mort.
So here
Yeah.
developer intended a dialogue skip by picking up those two objects over there.
Je te laisse, faut que je file. Bon, viens par là. Je vais t'emmener voir Vinny d'abord.
Now, if Peter stays in the correct place, he can be actually pushed through the door, which unfortunately didn't happen, but that probably doesn't save too much.
It does not save time because I have to wait for Polly to open the door anyway.
You can open it yourself.
You can?
Yes, you
I
can.
can't. I don't think I can get there before Polly does, though.
When Polly is on the stairs, you can actually open the door. Of course, that's probably for the scripted category.
Now here I do want to be ahead of him.
And walk it through the door, that's normal.
Je sais pas comment il fait ce débile, mais les bagnoles ronronnent avec lui. C'est presque de la magie noire. C'est pas ce qui lui prend à Ralph de nous fourguer cette bagnole. Moi je voulais te montrer un peu comment on flanque. Eh, c'est l'orchestre qu'on va massacrer aujourd'hui. Pas cette poubelle. C'est pas ce qui lui prend à
Here you may have
Ralph de nous
noticed
fourguer
that
cette bagnole.
now we are
Moi,
going
je voulais
to
te
have
montrer
a
un peu
long
comment on
section of
flambe, et toi,
waiting,
tu
so we
conduis une
can
tire que ma mère
pretty
aurait pu
much
acheter
take
il y
a
a
break.
20 ans.
But what happened at the start was that Polly was saying something, and then suddenly he started complaining about you wrecking the car or something. That is because on the first load, if you press any key during the automated driving, it will actually just make Polly complain. If you, however, reload the checkpoint, it will allow you to progress normally without Polly complaining. But that doesn't really save much time because anyway you have that load here. So in game time it is a difference. RTA obviously this is
Tant qu'on
fast.
reste prudent, on craint rien. Suffit de pas jouer au con. Tu sais,
And now we
pour le
can
whisky
enjoy the
canadien qui
beautiful
circule.
city of Lost
Si t'en veux
Heaven
une
because
bouteille,
we have
dis-le-moi.
like nothing
On
to
en
do
stocke pour
and
la
we have
famille.
to skip the driving
Ah, je
anyway
bois pas beaucoup de whisky.
after they finish the
Avant,
conversation.
je tournais au gin de contrebande, mais c'est fini. Ce truc-là, c'est pas bon pour moi.
I just need to be careful not to crash into anything.
Avec ce
To
whisky,
slow down
tu
the
risques
dialogue.
pas de devenir aveugle. C'est de la qualité supérieure. C'est bon à savoir. Merci. C'est pas seulement
There
la
was
qualité
actually
de
a
l'agneau.
way to skip some of the lines,
Tu la
but
livres.
it has been
C'est
proven
la
to be
marafole
actually
de ces
slower
endroits.
than
Les meilleures tables, la meilleure
waiting
bouffe,
for the
les plus
lines.
belles poupées. Ça, c'est la belle vie. Pour le moment,
Because
je vais
Pauli's
juste
dialogue
ruiner
is
la
not
vie
going
des
to
salopards
progress
qui ont
while
ruiné
he's
la
not
mienne.
in the car.
Ouais, je comprends. Puis, c'est un coup à se retrouver dans les embrouilles. C'est le type qui s'apprête à foutre le feu au parking de Morello qui me parle d'embrouille. T'es là pour me protéger. Ça va aller. Si ça tourne mal, essaie de pas montrer ton visage. Ou alors tabasse-les jusqu'à leur faire oublier ta tronche.
And there's the drive skip. We'll be doing many of those. Here I'm going to take cover, which allows me to sprint for a bit
Et ils laissent leur caisse derrière.
and get ahead.
Bande de feignasses. Il y a toujours un guignol qui est de garde. Mais c'est vraiment un débile profond. Allez, par ici. Faut qu'on entre discrètement et qu'on défonce les bagnoles. Pour envoyer un message. Ouais. Attends, pourquoi tu viens? Bah, pour voir si tu vas te faire buter.
Yeah, one good thing about this is that you can choose the voice language and the subtitle language. So we can have subtitles in English.
Here you actually need to crouch for Paulie to come to you. Sometimes if you do it later, you are actually able to get on this box, which probably doesn't save too much time because then it might be...
I didn't get it.
Yeah. It is quite inconsistent, the timing is very tight. It requires you to get very, very far in front of Paulie.
It's supposed to be like just between the two dialogues.
Qu'est-ce que tu fous là, toi? Comment ça, qu'est-ce que je fous là? C'est pourtant clair, non? Qu'est-ce...
Oh, what? I did not get him.
Oh merde, Tom! T'es fait repérer. Moi non plus, j'aime pas quand c'est trop discret.
Reload the checkpoint here that allows Polly to get closer to me.
For the most part, we are going to be using the strong punches, which you just charge, and 2 punches kill pretty much any enemy in the game. And it is faster than the QTE.
Faut le choper! Hé, t'approches pas de cette voiture! Fais le tir, Tom! T'as envie de mourir? Hé, dépêche! Ils vont encore appliquer! Prends un cocktail molotov, ça va chauffer! J'adore l'odeur de la peinture.
Here with some luck we can actually push Paulie to the corner, but most of the time he's not movable, so he will always run to there. If we actually manage to push him into the corner, he will stop moving and he will open the gate faster.
Si je t'aime pas et que t'as une caisse qui en jette, moi, je sais où tu la gardes. Il y a des véhicules en feu signalés à North Park. À l'ancienne, c'est tout ce que...
A bit of RNG coming up. I have to hope that I don't get seen by any cop cars on the way.
On a intérêt à foutre le camp avant que les flics se pointent. Et nos canards va tirer. Roule. Revenez ici, bande de salopards. Oh merde. C'est les flics. Bon alors, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Eh ben on accélère et on les met à bonne distance. Ça me va. Ils
Oh,
sont
that's a
sur les
cop car.
nerfs. Alors essayons de pas en rajouter.
You may have noticed that Dieter just ran through some bushes. It is not always safe to run through bushes in this game because some of them have just invisible wall here which will actually make you crash and full stop.
Looks like we're fine with that cop. He's not following me. Now, there is a bit of a dialogue here, and there is a dry skip after that dialogue, but it's faster to actually drive to the destination rather than wait for the dry skip.
This is one of the few drives that we actually do.
C'est bon. Fais gaffe quand tu conduis. L'idée c'est d'être discret. C'est bon. On peut rentrer voir le patron. Je croyais que les flics avaient Salieri à la bonne. Les agents de circulation, ouais. Mais c'est Morello qui connaît le chef. Alors, ça t'a fait quelque chose? Tu ressens quoi? À propos de quoi? De liquider ce type? De voler la caisse de Dino? Ça t'a fait du bien? Ouais. Je crois que ouais. La première fois, c'est vraiment quelque chose. Ce sera jamais aussi bien après. Alors, tu penses que c'est une vie pour toi? T'en penses quoi, toi? Oh, c'est moi qui pose des questions. J'adore ça, les questions. Ça m'étonnerait que toi et Sam sortiez tous les jours défoncer les voitures sur les parkings. Fais gaffe quand tu conduis. L'idée, c'est d'être discret.
We are approaching the
Ça
Salieri's bar.
m'étonnerait que toi et Sam sortiez tous les
Now
jours
we need
défoncer
to
les
park the
voitures sur les
car
parkings.
in position, and we are heading to the end of this mission.
Elle est où la caisse que je vous ai donnée?
On l'a largué.
Mais pourquoi?
We should be careful. If we bump into Paulie, he might get stuck in place and he will take a bit to realize that he's supposed to go into Salieri's bar. So we better avoid his way and take our time. Because he
He
needs to
triggers
open
the
the
next
door
part
anyway.
anyway. Yeah.
Il est toujours avec toi alors?
On dirait bien, ouais. Ça y est.
That's the end of this mission.
Les premiers jours chez Salieri, il se passait rien. Je déplaçais des caisses, je transmettais des messages. Les types se charriaient et racontaient leurs souvenirs. On attendait. Je commençais à croire que bosser avec Salieri était pas si dangereux. Clairement, j'avais tort.
Et toi, Tommy?
Ouais.
T'as encore du jus.
Le boss t'attend.
Merci.
In this mission, we are actually finally gonna see some action. You know, we used to be a taxi driver, but now we know how to work a cam.
Désolé pour le retard.
Assieds-toi.
Eh Tom, Vinny dit qu'il a quelque chose pour toi. Va le voir. J'imagine qu'il va vouloir te baratiner avec une histoire bidon d'un type qui l'aurait buté il y a 20 ans de ça.
So we get a little tutorial about guns and how to use them.
J'ai vu ça. Et j'ai pensé à toi. Tu t'es déjà servi d'un flingue?
J'ai déjà fait du tir au pigeon à la foire.
Ouais, ça compte pas. Pointe-le sur la cible là-bas. Bang. Ok, montre-moi comment tu recharges. Tu ouvres le barillet et c'est parti. Dernière chose, ne le montre pas à tout le monde. Cache-le à ta ceinture. Bon pour le service. Quand ça commence à tirer, mets-toi à couvert et fais pas dans ton froc.
Merci Vincenzo. C'est très gentil.
Hey, pour Franck et le boss, c'est Vincenzo.
Alright.
Pour toi.
Now we're gonna supposedly be driving around a bit, although we're gonna be skipping the drives anyway.
Here you will learn to open the first car that is here. You actually do it by lockpicking, which is the only lockpicking we do in the game. There is actually the prompt to open the car by smashing the window, but unfortunately it gets you stuck on Ralphie and he will not open the
D'abord,
door.
on va voir Al. Il tient une boulangerie sur Longman Street. Tu connais?
Ouais, je connais.
I reloaded the checkpoint there to get Sam and Polly into the car faster.
And now we are going to do some money collection, which should go totally well, and we shouldn't need the gun that we got from Vincenzo, which we are obviously gonna use. Here we can get Polly or Sam stuck in the door, so we always need to take care if they are entering. Sometimes they get stuck on something that we don't know what is.
C'est bien tout ça. C'est très bien.
Dis-moi, personne te charge des poux? Y a pas de voyou qui t'ennuie?
Non, non. Rien de tout ça.
Bien. Donc t'as le pognon.
Oui, il est derrière. Je vais aller.
Tommy va s'en occuper. Toi, tu vas rester bien en vue.
Ça marche au ralenti ce mois-ci, Sam. J'avais peur de pas avoir assez.
Al, je sais bien que jamais tu chercherais...
Où est le fric?
Infami,
t'as raison
Fetosi,
d'avoir peur.
voi ci succhiate il sangue.
Ouais, comment on peut te protéger toi et la petite Julia si tu ne payes pas?
Via di qui. Lasciateci in pace.
Alright, now I want to get out and quickly get into the car and drive forward so that Sam can get into it faster.
Compte sur moi.
Et
Actually, is there even a Japanese dub for this?
I believe there's not.
So that's why Japanese is not faster. I do not have the record. I think the record is 151 something. Just happened yesterday.
Que j'y croyais pas, et résultat, il sort
I
le
think I have third place.
et je vois la queue du
Yeah,
poisson.
151.45 is
Quand Paulie est
currently
sur les nerfs,
the
vaut mieux
submitted
le laisser
world
se
record,
défouler.
but it's not
Faut pas trop
verified yet.
contrarier, quoi. Il est comme ça.
And that's the thing with
Tu
the
peux
new
parfois
game is
l'entendre, à savoir.
world records
Dans ce
happen
cas,
pretty often,
laisse-le
huh?
jouer au cowboy,
So,
ça le rend heureux.
Indeed.
things can change every day.
Franchement,
And for long games, it even shows you the progress very well because there's always time save you're gonna make. Vito actually just reloaded a checkpoint here after hearing Polly smashing something
Oh,
in the
that
shop.
was the wrong checkpoint. Okay.
That was
never
the
mind.
wrong checkpoint. You need to wait for the second smashing and then you reload the checkpoint, which makes Polly teleport next to the car.
Une fois, on a rendu visite à un tailleur de Holbrook. Il a fini en fauteuil roulant.
That one. There we go.
Alors voilà.
So we don't have to watch Polly get out of the shop and walk towards the car.
You can see the checkpoints by the icon on the right top corner, but sometimes it's inconsistent that it doesn't finish and you reload an older checkpoint, which can sometimes kill your runs, so you always have to wait for a bit.
Quand il sera sur pied.
The icon is for saving in general. Now, every time you enter a car, it saves that as the last car that you entered. So the icon can also be completely misleading.
Now, Peter just shot this car because this is a car that we are supposed to chase, but if we explode it, it's not gonna actually be usable. You can explode it from the other side, but Peter decided to do the older strat that's more safe.
Oh, what is he doing here? He's usually down here.
Most of these shootouts are just about headshots. Headshots in this game just kill in one shot, so that's what Peter is going for.
Nice, okay.
Ce jour-là, j'ai vraiment compris ce que ça voulait dire que de bosser avec ces types. C'est à ce moment que j'aurais dû me tirer, mais... C'était trop dur de redevenir un pigeon.
That ends this mission, after some cutscenes.
Approaching you when you have the gun in hand is sometimes actually very effective against you, and you might see that in the priest mission.
Because if they hit me in melee, I can't reload.
And while they also charge their fist on you, they will actually always get you in the defending animation, like if you were about to attack them. And if you are too close, you are just gonna shoot your bullets through them because your gun is past their body. Or behind.
Tu rigoles? J'ai l'impression qu'on a déménagé de part.
Buonasera, Tommy. Donc ça fait 5.
Oh, fair play. Worst and longest mission in the game. Here I bump off to hopefully make the garage appear a bit faster.
Which probably doesn't save time because it leaves you waiting longer when you are outside of Salieri's bar. But it's a cool thing to see.
And here is the NGIC Plus car. I just take this one because it saves like 10 seconds. That's the only use of this car ever in the drive skips category.
And it saves about 10 seconds, so that's why we don't split NG and NG Plus for the
On peut
drive
emmener ta voiture au
skipping
garage. Il y a de
category.
la place. Les amis de Ralphie sont mes amis aussi. Ouais, tant que tu paies.
This car also has some funny physics, and
Demain matin, ils vont
if you're
arriver.
not careful, you
De toute la
might end
ville.
up in a
Ils
bad
trafiquent
situation
bagnoles,
when the
ils se
car
bastonnent.
just decides to go
Je
on the
déteste
front
ça.
wheels.
Arrête. Ce week-end, il n'y aura pas meilleur endroit pour faire une charmante rencontre.
Which is why it's called the Crazy Horse, and in fact it does that way more in the original game.
Bon, on arrive.
You can actually do three things here. You can reload the checkpoint to make him get closer to the gate, exit the car, or jump out of the car. Jumping out of the car is probably the fastest, but not very doable with this car.
La Carotzella
Because
série
it's too
C de
fast.
1929. Le top du
So here I'm
top.
gonna punch to skip Tommy's lines.
Essayez de voir rouler à...
S'ils arrivent à me rattraper, essaie de la garder en un seul morceau.
Donc,
Ouais, c'est un con.
il paraît.
We only do that a few times. So we have to drive this race car, which is... this car does not turn. It will just not turn. It will go straight, and that's it.
And it sometimes has very bad interaction with the RAM button, where it just if it as you've seen in Running Man, where when it pushed the car to the side instead of forward, if this happens with this car, you can very easily damage it and destroy it.
Destroying the car is an instant mission fail. Although it is much more lenient than in the original game, which had a very strict damage bar.
And invisible sidewalks, which sometimes were very rough, because they would flip the car or even destroy it. Or not sidewalks, but sidewalk physics.
Oh god. Was
No,
fine.
the crashing is definitely not on purpose.
It is not on purpose, nope.
You just want to show the audience what it's like, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go with that. There's a cop in front, so I'm gonna have to kill him, I think. Well, maybe not, he's looking the other way. Okay. If I have cops on me and I get close to the destination, then it's an instant mission fail.
And here
Okay.
the car is actually getting changed, and it will actually do bad things on its own. So if you see Peter crashing, don't make fun of him. It's much harder than before.
Yeah, if you thought that driving the car was bad earlier, now it just turns to the side by itself and it like goes accelerates and stop accelerating, and then there's this engine overheating bar that you see on top. If that fills up, then the car just stops for a while. The consequences for running over, yes, you get cops on you. Sometimes you don't want to, other times it's fine. Like here it would be fine, for example.
Here sometimes we can witness a flying police car for some odd reason. Unfortunately, it seems that it didn't happen this time.
The police car kind of gets stuck in the wires that are up above.
There's actually a more funny version of this glitch where it happens with a truck, but because we have skipped for the mission with it, it doesn't happen. So unfortunately, you are not gonna see that.
t'as réussi. Dieu merci. Ok, foutons le camp d'ici. Demain, c'est le grand jour.
Now
Now we
Peter
have
is
the
going
race.
to just... Yeah. And there was some dialogue skip.
Les concurrents sont sur le départ, la course
Yeah,
va
you made
démarrer.
driving that car look easy.
I don't know, but it's really not easy.
Si soldat, y a un problème, son bolide se comporte bizarrement.
So this race car also does not turn. So I will be using the ram to turn all the time.
Il survivra au célèbre premier virage et que l'autre événement.
This is probably the hardest mission in the classic difficulty, or at least many people have problems with it and spend multiple hours just on this race. But for speedrun it's not really a problem, and if you get some practice it's also not that hard. Especially with abusing the ram button.
La sortie de Lichtenberg a mis le feu aux poudres. Tout le monde y croit.
Yeah, to be honest, the sabotage is completely useless. But we have to do it anyway. And the race is famously hard in the original game as well. So hard, in fact, that a patch was pushed to that game that mainly just added the difficulty option to it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
But the patch also removed a shortcut in the race which was actually available here, but it was actually not intended. So you could just drive through here and press the reset your car button and it would move you in front of the finish, and then you just have a round. And in the original game it also has 5 rounds, I believe.
I think in the console version it can have more or fewer laps, right?
I
Depending on
believe,
difficulty.
yeah, I believe it has 3 on the easiest.
Yeah, the shortcut is why we play the original Mafia game on the unpatched version.
Les trois voitures en tête se battent pour la première place.
Yeah, the hay bales respawn, which is funny.
There was also a speculation about this mission that if you failed it, it would allow you to give up the race and you would just have it won for you. But I haven't seen anyone do that, so it was probably just a fake speculation.
I think that was on some German interview with one of the devs actually. The dev said that, but
Yes, that
I have seen
sounds
no
good.
proof of that.
C'est un match serré qui se joue pour la première place.
Love how the commentator says it's a tight pack, even though the others are not even on the map.
Bientôt terminé. Angelo est toujours devant.
The reason maybe why the classic difficulty is actually so hard here is because when you crash, even though the cars are not on the map, they somehow gain a lot of speed and can actually go much faster than you. Actually faster than the speed meter actually allows.
Il a besoin de Mike Eden. Le type est parfait.
So there's some serious rubber banding going on.
Taylor, Anderson, Angelo sont dans le peloton et il reste encore du temps.
What we haven't witnessed here is that some of the edges of this map have invisible walls that you can crash into, and that might sometimes cost you a lot of time when it happens.
That was weird.
Un groupe de tête semble se former à l'avant.
And that's the race done. So after all of that speed, now we have a slow walk to calm us down.
And we need to find Paulie, and there's basically no reason why to slow us down so much, but for some reason it is there. And now we are going to have actually one of the last drives for a while, and we are going to be skipping most of the other drives until chase sequences.
Did you see that guy who was like through the floor?
La police de Lost Haven rappelle aux spectateurs que la vente et la consommation d'alcool sont strictement interdites. Les autorités... Ces trucs vont plus vite chaque année.
Veloci, ma non più divertenti. A volte sembra quasi una sfilata.
Tu trouves que cette course est un défilé?
There's Paulie, drunk, of course.
And here you can see the reason why NG Plus is actually not that much faster, because even though we arrived with the Crazy Horse, it just gives us this last hitter, which is very slow, and we cannot use the Crazy Horse in other missions than Fair Play.
In a lot of missions, our car is predetermined pretty much.
Tu t'es bien débrouillé aujourd'hui, Tony. Tu sais, avec la voiture, j'avais raison. J'avais raison quand je t'ai trouvé. Tu sais ce que j'ai dit? Non, qu'est-ce que t'as dit? J'ai dit, ce type, il s'y connaît en bagnole.
Again, we want to avoid police here because that can expand this dialogue a lot, and that's not really vital for the run. It slows down Paulie and it takes a lot of time.
It also matters which line Paulie is saying when we are at the destination. Because if he's saying a long line, we have to wait for it to end before we trigger the next part.
Moi et Sam, on s'occupe des vrais problèmes. Vraiment? Ouais. Tu sais pas ce que c'est. On t'appelle pour te dire que le Don veut te voir et tu commences à flipper. J'ai fait des trucs horribles, Tom. On est tous ensemble dans cette histoire. Je fais ce que le Don me demande quand il me le demande. Comme toi. T'es comme moi. Tu peux pas faire semblant. Tu peux pas faire abstraction comme ça. Rentrer chez toi et retrouver la personne qui est chez toi. Ça, je vais me faire une fille. Ah, pas question que je t'aide pour ça.
And here we're gonna end this mission, and we just wait for Paulie to say a couple of things and do a couple of sounds.
Oh no, the line just started.
Amène-moi voir les filles.
That's unfortunate.
That is one of the longest ones that are here. But it is an important line because it tells you that you have another option to send him somewhere else. But that's obviously slower.
You get a hidden achievement for it, but...
Bonne nuit, gros dur. Je crois que je vais... Ouais. Je me sens pas bien.
Alright, finally end of that mission. And if you want to see me kind of breaking the game a bit, now we arrive at Sarah, where we're supposed to be escorting the bartender's daughter home, defending her from some hooligans.
Now remember the food that she's taking in her hands? Normally she's supposed to give it to people that are like hungry, don't have home, etc. And something interesting is going to happen because of this glitch. And I might ask Peter to let the cutscene play for a bit once Sarah is going to be attacked, because it looks kind of funny.
Oh really? I didn't even know that.
Qui sait, peut-être que demain il se fera son petit déjeuner tout seul comme un grand.
And so here she can go do whatever. She's actually going to be waiting for me. I'll be going this way, and I actually need some quiet time because I need to focus on two things at once. You can commentate, Waffle.
So what's actually happening here is you are seeing that the time is running out, and you are maybe panicking that Peter is going to fail this mission. But for some reason, if you open the map by pressing escape or tab, the timer that has 10 seconds is actually going to reset. So what Peter is going to do is just count about 9 seconds, and it's going to give him 10 more seconds every time. This is used in many chase sequences, or in all of those chase sequences, and that's basically how we skip a lot of things. Sometimes it doesn't work, however, so it's not always the safest. You have to know where it
Fail
works.
time is where it doesn't work. I reload the checkpoint here, otherwise I'm stuck slow walking. For the next 2 minutes. Oh, I didn't play the cutscene, did I? Whatever.
I believe it's the second one.
Second one?
No, never mind. It won't work because you reload the checkpoint anyway. What happens basically if you didn't reload the checkpoint and played the second cutscene, Sarah would be still holding the food in her hand, and it kind of looks funny in the cutscene.
Oh, he really did that. Oh, can you not?
Oh, actually, it's the last cutscene, but it's probably not gonna work because you reloaded the checkpoint.
Yeah.
Voilà pour toi, espèce d'enfoiré.
That's the end of this mission.
This section is usually a lot of talking because there's 2 stops and all of that is dodged by this mechanic.
Je vais voir dans le quartier, m'assurer qu'ils sont partis. Toi, va voir Biff. Bonne chasse.
Ouais, pareil. Bon, quand t'auras fini avec Vinny, viens me voir à Chinatown. D'accord. On va aller botter des culs.
Now, if I hadn't reloaded the checkpoint earlier, then I would still be slow walking here. Instead, now I can lightly jog instead.
And now we are on our way to beat up some guys that were harassing Sarah. But it's gonna go a bit wrong, as can be expected with this game.
Pas trop tôt. Allez, je suis trempé. J'arrive pas à croire que Biff soit venu dans ce coin pourri, ça me dépasse.
Lâche-le un peu, il est amoureux.
So here, if we played with the scripted version, we actually could dash right through the door and go through the trigger, but that would softlock the game because it would close Polly outside and he would be just bumping into the door and couldn't enter.
Did we ever explain how the script works?
I don't think so.
Oh, essentially you press W every 10 milliseconds roughly. Which is why we cannot do it in RTA or without a script, without a macro.
Ravi de te voir. En voilà, Biff. On a du boulot.
À l'étage, s'il vous plaît. Bon alors, y a un pépin?
On a besoin d'infos.
You can definitely do it manually, but it's not really comfortable, and I don't believe that I would want to personally run it because it doesn't really even save that much. And for the things that would matter, that would be like at crazy speed, we wouldn't be able to do them anyway.
Good luck with the carpal tunnel.
C'est pour ça que je suis venu te voir. Tu t'y connais en amateur.
Yeah, that's well.
Par derrière, traverser la rue, c'est là qu'ils sont.
Merci.
Right, let's see if I manage to do the thing here where I get polystack.
À propos du fric.
It's very inconsistent.
On attend que mon contact passe. Ce sera la semaine prochaine, t'en fais pas.
He's right behind me.
Vous avez une affaire?
Ah, no.
Might... Ah, no.
L'essence fait entrer des cargaisons de costards.
Kinda wanted to push him to the right to bump into the guy, but that didn't work.
Mais non, abruti. Les costards viennent d'un entrepôt dans le centre. D'ailleurs, lui, il vient de Mexico. Enfin, à l'origine. Il vit à Holbrook.
Le Don sait pour tout ça?
Ouais. Il touchera sa
As you saw earlier in the glitch exhibition video, I was able to start running right about here, but now that I didn't get polystack, I'm gonna be running roundabout over there at that gas pump.
je tabasse les types. Toi, tu fais pareil. Pas de flingue.
T'as mis longtemps à la trouver, ta stratégie?
Non, ça, c'est l'approche standard. Je crois qu'on a intérêt à entrer dans le côté.
Now, there's going to be some fist fight at the start, and if Beater is lucky, then he might actually skip one guy from spawning, but we'll see what happens.
So here I have a baseball bat, but I put it away because it's slow. I prefer using fists. Oh, okay, the guy spawned anyway. I guess I'll go forward and we'll see if Polly dies or not.
I believe that if you get here and Polly gets stuck, the checkpoint on the top still works.
Yeah, the checkpoints all work anyway. So Polly did not die, which is good. Nice, I got the mouse.
Now these explosive barrels have some kind of delay, so if you explode them too early, you might actually kill yourself by
Too
the
late.
explosion, even though you are not really in the range, but you walk into it later.
Whoa, what?
Yes, that guy can actually one-shot you with the knife even from 100 HP. That's something new. Like, it happened to me in the round and that was very surprising.
I shot him a bunch, but he didn't die.
You had low HP here, I believe. Yeah. But he can kill you in one
These
hit.
guys despawn. Yeah. I was supposed to be chasing them, but I'm gonna go the other way.
The reason for this is because, as we've already explained, you can bypass this timer by opening the map, and when we arrive at the place when they are going to crash, it's gonna give us a checkpoint which we can reload, and that will end the mission.
And this car does not turn at all, either.
Especially on the rain.
Cet abruti a réussi à se foutre dans le décor. Ça veut pas dire que c'est terminé pour autant.
This
hope I
checkpoint
waited
is
long
very
enough.
tricky because it can very often put you back into the previous checkpoints, which basically resets this entire chase. So it's safe to wait here.
Now, if I don't reload the checkpoint, then I have to wait for them to actually crash into the place in front of me.
Il a dit que c'était pas lui. Et il a dit. Alors,
And now comes one of the probably hardest missions when it comes to shootouts, because there's a lot of enemies that can surprise you, and you'll see why.
I would say this is the hardest shootout.
I would say that
À la recherche de quelque
for
chose
the
qui
amount
fait
of
beau.
checkpoints, it is quite hard. Like, if you die in the part where there's the exploding barrels, that's
Embrasse
quite a
bien
big
les
time
filles de la
loss,
part de ton
and there's
famille.
basically no save
Pas
for
aujourd'hui,
you.
Vinny. Faut qu'on parle. Monte.
That's the one that I
Démarre pas
personally
tout de
find
suite.
to be to
Faut qu'on
have
cause un peu
most
d'abord.
problems with.
C'est à propos de la fille.
And now we
Michel.
are waiting
Voilà.
for Sam to talk.
Pas besoin de la
because
liquider. Il suffit
there's
juste
some
qu'elle disparaisse.
people again,
Tu la
and we
connais?
cannot even
Ouais.
exit the car.
Je l'ai fréquentée quelquefois. Elle a un bon fond, Tom, même si c'est pas une flèche. En tout cas, elle mérite pas d'être butée juste parce qu'elle m'a écouté parler. Tu penses qu'elle va quitter la ville? Quand elle aura compris ce qui l'attend, crois-moi, elle partira. Tiens, donne-lui ça. Et débrouille-toi pour qu'elle s'en aille loin d'ici. Ok. Je vais voir ce que je peux faire. C'est tout ce que je te demande.
Yes, we have done the race already. That was more than 10 minutes ago.
Tu descends là.
Fils du conseiller Guillotti retrouvé mort. La piste des gangs privilégiée.
Je transmettrai tes condoléances à la famille. Bonne chance. Toi aussi.
Alright, so first things first, we're gonna shoot up a hotel. We need to kill the manager and one of the workers. And then we need to go to a church and crash a funeral. Here I'm gonna shoot immediately, because that allows me to sprint. Otherwise I'll be jogging.
This is one of the sections when you can take a lot of damage. You kill the manager here, and after many points it makes a checkpoint here. And if you are low, you just get a reload the checkpoint to refill your health.
I also manipulate some of the enemies by walking right by them, which makes them not shoot me. Here I get my health refilled, although not my ammo. And I killed a guy with a shotgun here. I need that shotgun, so I'm gonna pick it up. Where is it? Did it fall through or something? Okay, I'm gonna go with the backup, I guess.
And this is the part that's quite hard about this mission, because you can get a lot of damage here if you don't shoot this barrel properly. And it seems like Peter got through it just tightly enough.
I had to pick up the note twice because for some reason sometimes you have to do that.
Yes, if you pick up the first node too quickly, then it's going to sometimes happen that it respawns. Yes, there is an English dub for this. There's actually many versions.
Whoa, okay, that was weird.
This can actually kill you if you land on an edge like this.
Once again, double tapping shift to avoid the falling animation.
Beater is quite low on health, this might be very tight, but there is a save right behind this wall. And he survived it just fine.
Yeah, you saw me go right in front of the cops so they wouldn't shoot me anymore. I double tap shift on stairs as well, because that allows me to go at normal sprinting speed rather than a bit of a slower speed that you usually have on stairs. Now here I have no ammo, so I'm gonna reload the checkpoint.
Is that why you needed the shotgun?
Yeah, the shotgun will be very helpful for this part, actually. Because it's much easier to just hip fire and sprint, rather than using the pistol where I have to go for the headshots.
This is the part where they often block you if you get too close and start attacking you in the melee range, and that's bad and it's hard to work around. Because the cover system and shooting system in this game is not the best, but at least not the best for the speedrun. With the shotgun we just run through and just tap it every time we see someone, and it's easy.
Dès que j'ai mis les pieds dans l'église, les gars de Morello m'ont tous reconnu. Ils m'ont suivi et j'ai dû m'excuser. Ils sont où là? Au même endroit.
Funnily enough, not being able to grab the shotgun also happened in my PB yesterday. Although that was not because it didn't drop, it's because I couldn't kill him.
Do weapons just fall through the world sometimes? Is that just...
That's actually the first time I've seen that.
Oh.
Same for me. There's actually a way to skip Sam entering the car, but it's quite inconsistent. you have to exit the car and then he teleports near you. But sometimes the police notice that you just entered the car even though they don't see you, so they make the chase longer. So it's probably better to stay and wait for Sam.
Also, the dialogue fear don't trigger if Sam is not with you.
Mais j'ai tout réglé. Vraiment tout. Ouais. Vraiment tout.
There are cops passing right by me, so I have to be out of the car here.
On les a semés.
If you actually bump into Sam in the church, then it sometimes happens that you just make Sam stuck in the door for some reason, and that is when you might consider actually doing the teleport skip.
Merci encore pour ton aide tout à l'heure.
I believe this is an issue.
Non? Ouais.
Oh,
Mais t'as quand même un
I think he's fine.
Bon Dieu.
Nice dialogue.
Incroyable.
I've never
T'as pas
seen
besoin de
this.
me
But
remercier.
okay.
Te prends pas la tête avec ça. D'ailleurs, mieux vaut pas se prendre la tête avec quoi que ce soit.
Don't mind me just speaking to Invisible Sam over there.
Ça parle beaucoup
Putain
de
de
vos
merde. À l'époque,
Alright, one more mission and then we can take a break.
Dit de l'attente dans
This should take about
derrière.
6 minutes and a half, roughly.
Il y a du boulot pour toi.
Why is the fair timer still on screen?
Sarah cuisine quelque chose.
I suppose you have to reload the checkpoint.
Ah, quelle bonne petite.
Souhaite-moi, Luigi.
I guess we'll
And
see.
if it's going to be still stuck here, which happened to me once with a different dialogue, then I had to restart the game, which would be
Oh,
the
no.
worst case.
Wow.
Please no.
It seems like it's just the UI glitch, so it might be what I'm talking about. But hope for the checkpoint.
I'm just gonna go to the next checkpoint. I'm still pressing pause every few seconds just in case.
You might actually restart the game after the break, if that happens.
Okay. Let's try this. Okay, it's fixed.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
That's the first time I've seen that as well. So unfortunately too late for Halloween, but we're in a spooky, haunted ghost farm with a thunderstorm.
Où est-ce que tu te planques?
And apparently lots of cops who want to shoot at him.
So here we actually have to kill all of them and then take this body. There's no way to skip it.
Ces
So,
types-là rigolent pas.
no.
Je crois que c'est des flics des frontières.
Basically every enemy in this location has to be killed without a skip.
There are a few optional enemies that we won't even be seeing.
Ça va être canardé! Allez les gars, on tient bon!
Oh, wow, okay. That was a lot of damage. You may notice deaths are very slow because the death animation is really long. Let's go again.
And the animation doesn't allow you to use any keys, so you can't even open the menu to load checkpoints. That doesn't.
There's the Thompson. As you may notice, I picked up the Thompson on the ground without having it equipped, so I get the ammo into the clip.
We usually wait for them to approach the barrel on the second wave to kill them easier. And after this we check on Sam and we're gonna do some explosions.
Aide-moi, Tom! J'ai besoin d'aide! Putain de merde! Ah, il est où ce putain de camion? Eh merde, voilà les flics!
We got Molotovs, and there's some cops coming, but 2 cop cars. One is there, the other one is here.
We need to hit just one Molotov, so this is completely fine.
The second is just for safety. Ooh, one shot on that guy. Oh, autoscroller with infinite ammo and a Thompson. Which means it's time to have some fun.
There is basically only one part that is not an auto-scroller, and then the end is also not an auto-scroller. Other than that, we are just shooting whatever we want.
I think it's fast to kill this last car as soon as possible, as well as motorcycle guy in the first part.
It might be possible, yes.
Not this guy, maybe this guy, yeah.
Putain, ils ont appelé des renforts.
C'est ça! Allez, continue, famille!
It's pretty hard to get the driver.
Faites vos rêves, connard. Ces connards lâchent pas l'affaire. Et voilà les
If you were to compare this to the original game, there's only 2 cars chasing you, but sometimes there, I mean 3 cars chasing you, but sometimes it's very inconsistent, so this is just a relaxation compared.
Ok, un de moins.
And now comes the important part. We need to kill the first car and then the car that arrives, and that basically triggers the next car to come. If we kill the guys in that car, the car will start coming earlier, and we don't have to do anything else.
Can I hardly see where he is?
Dans ce truc-là!
Molly, il faut qu'on...
Vise la tourelle quand tu vois qu'ils arrêtent de tirer!
Vas-y, tire dans le
And
dos.
here we have a vehicle that we need to destroy the turrets and then the windows. And it is actually doable in one clip, but it is pretty hard and probably most people will not get it, even the best runners. This is just really lucky if you get it, because all the movement is very inconsistent. And the end is actually done by just throwing the nades, and while they pass through three flames, it's gonna just skip it.
And we are almost ready to take a break here.
Sounds good.
Yes, this is indeed a remake, not a remaster.
And that is end of mission.
Nicely done. All right, we're going to take a quick pause here. I just want to remind everyone watching, this is Testing Grounds, a show about new games and the speedruns around them. We like to take breaks every hour or so here on GDQ Hotfix, just to make sure that we can, get a chance for everyone to stretch, grab a drink of water if they need to. And we're also going to run some ads. Those ads help support this hotfix content. And if you don't want to watch the ads, there's always the option of subscribing to the channel, which helps all of this hotfix content happen, like the Crash Bandicoot 4 showcase tomorrow, which is going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern. And so we're going to be back with the second half of this run right after this break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Testing Grounds, a show about new games and the speedruns around them. Today we're watching Mafia Definitive Edition by WRP Beater. I want to thank Beater as well as Wafu for being here with me for this showcase. And I just want to remind everyone, we have an all-women speedrunning event, Frame Fatales, returning with another event, Fleet Fatales, online on November 15th, just a couple weeks away. And you can go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info on that. But with that, I just want to, get back into this run. Beater and Wafu, give us a countdown when you're ready.
All right, I'm good to go. What about you, Wafu?
I'm good to go too.
Okay, so I guess we can go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Vincenzo t'attend avec une nouvelle caisse.
So here in this mission we find out that the Don's concierge Frank has betrayed us and he has promised the cops to give them some account books. We have to go and kill him.
And this is one of the missions where it's quite interesting that like many missions from now are going to be just running through stuff, and if we get a lot of damage, we just reload checkpoint and then we run. There's basically no enemies we have to kill until about just for relaxation, or actually moonlighting, I believe.
Well, we have to take out the guards in visiting rich people.
Oh yeah, that.
So we have been here already, but this time we can actually sprint.
Quoi de neuf, mon pote?
Which is always nice.
T'as entendu des trucs
We
dernièrement?
can sometimes
Qui pourraient
bump
intéresser
into
le Don?
Biff here, and it makes the conversation start a little bit earlier, but it's quite inconsistent, and it often made me get him stuck rather than
Ils ont eu des infos
speeding
par
it out.
Morello, mais je sais pas quoi.
Comment tu sais ça?
Little Tony a raccompagné un type depuis le Black Cat parce qu'il était trop bourré. Un bavard. C'est lui qu'il faut voir.
D'accord. Merci.
C'est toujours un plaisir, Tom.
And thanks for the good luck, punk. The break was mid-run, so we're not done with the run yet.
With us being like halfway through the run, how are you feeling about the run right now?
Est-ce que tout va bien, Tom?
I think it's going fine. Apart from some stuff like that, better get used to it.
Il est venu boire un verre qu'il a transformé
We saw a couple things that you've never seen before too, so that's par for the course for a marathon run, right?
That's always good.
Find things that you don't know about.
The start of this mission is actually really boring. We just have to listen to a lot of lines because we don't know where Frank is, or we need more information. So we just skip drive, talk to someone, skip drive, talk to someone, and then a lot of driving and just reloading checkpoints.
Non, il a rien dit.
Tom, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
J'ai vu un clochard hier. Mort dans la rue.
I want to make sure I enter the car from the left side so I don't do the animation where it switches seats.
C'est là, on dirait.
And now we have to follow the car that's got Frank. It's a cop car, and we have to make sure we're not seen, which is what the meter on top of the screen represents, which is going to be visible now.
Montre-moi tes livres de
But even though we're supposed to be following them, we can get ahead of them, no problem.
The final play of this game and the series between the Lost Heaven Lancers and the Empire Bay Cannons.
They react more to you breaking the law, so crashing into cars or going on the wrong side of the road. But it's usually fine, you're just gonna pass through them. And what this section is all about is getting into a checkpoint, and that will actually move their car forward, which allows you to get to another checkpoint and basically skip this waiting sections, because you are way faster than them.
What I absolutely do not want to do is get cops on me, because that will fail the mission, and go too far ahead of him, because that will also fail the mission.
Prowling in front of the dugout, gesticulating. He seems animated to say the least. Looks like he's putting one of the officials in his place.
Here I believe it's not very possible to fail the mission before the first checkpoint.
J'imagine qu'il va y avoir une réunion.
I actually failed the mission there, I think in my shots fired run, so
Oh,
I have to be extra careful.
I understand. So getting in front of him here is a bit harder because you are not at the ideal speed, but if you don't break any law you should anyway be fine, and again you can reach another checkpoint and reload again.
Second checkpoint is under this bridge.
Generally, the idea is that if they are on the radar, it is safe. But here in the last section, it is not actually true, because if you enter some section of this of this forest, you are going to actually fail the mission, and I don't really know why, but it happens.
But in any case, the radar depends on how fast you're going. The faster you're going, the more expanded the map is on there.
J'ai l'impression qu'ils vont lui faire quitter le pays.
And the endpoint is basically active all the time, you just have to arrive here. But you need to make sure that you don't run away from them.
Yeah. Alright, now this section can be a stealth. We're not going to. And in the original game you had to kill all the enemies, I think. Or not all the enemies, but a lot of the enemies. Here we don't have to kill anyone.
In the original, you had to kill enough of them for you to not have like aggro and for the Frank to talk with you. Here you just run to the door and it's fine.
Make sure to blow up those barrels so that the AI doesn't blow them up when I'm near them.
And now we just get the documents from the bank.
Not much I can do to speed this up, except the guy that we're supposed to follow, we can bump him at the end to make it a bit faster.
Je cherche à accéder au coffre de Frank Coletti.
Ah oui, monsieur Angelo?
Ouais.
It's not necessarily the bump, even though that helps, but if you're just near him past some point, he will activate the cutscene instantly.
However, if I bump him too early, then he just stops and looks at me, and that's slow.
We wait for him to approach the table, and then we just bump into him.
Alright, visiting rich people. There's some post-stealth at the start here. We have to take out all the guards in stealth. If anybody shoots during this section, we fail the mission.
Ecco, ce la siamo, gioco. Passato uomo. Oh, un labyrinthe.
Obviously, we could do this all in sneak, but we are mostly going to run and kill them with 2 punches if the game allows us to. Sometimes you get this instant kill, or the QTE, but that doesn't really matter, although it's slow.
To be honest, I prefer the insta-kill rather than the punches.
I find that the punches are more consistent on those guys that are near the stairs. So
in any case, the punches are a good backup.
yes.
So that guy is annoying. This guy I'm gonna take out now. So I do a light punch so he doesn't have the time to shoot me. And then take him out. And this guy should be moving away by the time I get there. Yeah. Skip some lines by punching, and then we can go. And I have actually reserved a new start for this run specifically, which I have not done before or shown anyone.
Ooh.
Ooh. Less than a second time save. I get over here, reload this checkpoint to push Salvatore where I am. This is what we normally do. Then I'm supposed to kick the door. So what I'm going to do is punch to skip Tommy's line, and then we can reload the checkpoint immediately. That's the new start.
That's nice.
Nice.
Otherwise I have to wait for his line before the checkpoint happens. And I need to reload that, otherwise there's a long cutscene.
Now there's going to be a bunch of guys that are going to arrive, but all we have to do is just run away through the gate, reload the checkpoint, and that's gonna remove the cops going on us, or these guys going on us. And we just go away.
And I see the world record holder just entered chat.
Ça s'est mis dans les sbirri. Je suis d'accord. Je sais pas ce que tu dis, mais je suis d'accord.
Oh, there's a cop there, that's not good. That's gonna set me back a long time. Into the car. Into the car. Thank you. There's gonna be a hefty time loss with that cop spawning there. That's just unfortunate.
Usually we just can go with this car, this one is actually respawned, and run off the hill, and then we just end this mission. However, if you get the cop, it's unfortunate, and you are going to have a lot of chasing here.
Couple of punches to skip lines there.
D'accord, c'est parti.
That's the end of this mission.
Buonanotte. Salut. On vous décevra pas, boss.
Je te libère du temps pour que tu sortes avec les gars, Carlo. Me le fais pas regretter.
Je vais me tenir, boss, vous bilez pas.
Je me bile pas. Tommy s'en charge.
There's a funny little thing, if
Votre
you
chauffeur
enter the
risque
car
rien avec moi.
too quickly, sometimes Paulie gets stuck like this and he's not going to ever enter the car and you're going to go without him, but it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, and you'll still hear Paulie talking here, even though he's not in the car.
T'es dessus?
Ah, va te faire foutre.
Alors, ça y est, hein? T'es enfin dans la cour des grands? Je fais pas mal d'affaires par ici. Le gardien demande pas grand-chose. Et il ferme toujours jusqu'à ce que j'ai fini.
Bon, ça c'est fait. Gates nous attend au dernier étage.
Let's go.
And this is basically going to be the only mission that is going to have a chase sequence that we cannot skip so far. Because it's not about arriving in a certain location, we are waiting for allies to arrive.
On est bien là, nous. On fait un certain boulot, ouais.
Paulie, y a autre chose qu'on doit savoir sur ce Gates?
Non, seulement qu'il a le nez de travers et des caisses pleines de gnouls.
Ça me parle.
Ça me parle aussi. Garde-toi là.
A big shootout in the parking lot now.
Comment ils sont au courant, putain? Parce que t'arrêtes pas d'ouvrir ta gueule.
Gates a pris une balle.
Et c'est pas si grave. Prenez l'agneau et tirez-vous. Mes hommes viennent m'aider. Allez-y, allez! Tant que vous les liquidez, je peux me débrouiller avec le petit gars.
Carlo.
You can move the camera inside the people here.
Tommy, ouvre l'œil. C'est sûrement pas fini.
Vas-y, je te couvre.
I'll pick up as much Thompson ammo as I can, and then go downstairs. It's absolutely worth playing the old version, yes. In fact, the old version is also an amazing run. Bit longer than this, though. Nice aim.
This is in French, not in Spanish.
Wow, okay.
Here we can actually reload the checkpoint to teleport us quite far forward, and when we walk into a certain point, we are going to hit a trigger, and then we can just continue without shooting anyone here.
So now a car crashed into some stuff there and made a big fire. This guy doesn't matter. I'll pick up some nades and then turn this valve. You can switch hands? Yep, you press the middle mouse to do that. And you switch side, switch shoulder.
That's however only possible in the cover. You cannot switch it while running.
No, even out of cover.
Really?
Yep.
That's new for me actually. Because I tried doing that and it didn't work for me on the...
See, even here.
Maybe I was using it sometimes.
No,
oh wait,
right,
you meant while aiming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant like the regular one, because you're still on the left in like not zoomed view.
Oh, the regular one, yeah. Well, the hip fire.
Yeah,
like.
yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. And there's the unskippable chase sequence. We need to make sure that we are close enough to the truck, because for some reason if we are away and the enemies shoot the car, it will actually get a lot of damage. But if we are close to them and even if we don't shoot the cars, it's going to get just a little bit of damage. But if we get too far away, the car will just explode almost immediately.
So scripted damage, which sucks.
In the later part of this chase, we are actually going to get ahead of the car, because it won't matter anymore. And we basically want to be as far away as possible, but we want to still keep the car on the map, because that's going to rubber band it, so it's going to be faster. If
Floating down over that?
we run away from the map, then it's going to slow down the car because the car thinks we need to catch up, which is not good.
And in any case, going as far forward as possible doesn't matter because I have to wait for them to get there.
Yes, but getting further away boosts them. Like, it's still faster than going the regular way. And as you've seen in the video written before the run, you just don't want to get in front of the car because it might explode easily.
Please accelerate.
This is one of the cases when it can actually explode. But I hope it's gonna be fine. Yes.
J'imagine.
Sur sa sale tête, la gros.
Now this is a rather short mission. We just need to do a little shootout, and then there's going to be a chase. Not in a car, just on foot. Unfortunately, we haven't found any way to speed the chase up. There's actually grenades on the ground that are picked up automatically.
Where is he? Oh. Punch to skip some lines again.
And we just wait for Salieri to open the door because we can't do that. And then there's going to be this chase.
In this chase I have to continually double tap shift, otherwise Tommy will just stop sprinting.
It is possible to get in front of this guy, but unfortunately for us, we still have to wait for him to reach a certain point.
Yeah, so essentially I just don't want to get in his way.
Hey Sergio, comment ça?
That's the end of that mission. That's like a 2-minute mission, not even. That was a long load.
On est au début de quelque chose d'énorme.
Hé, on t'attend à l'étage.
There is a forced dialogue that actually can be skipped, but for some reason, when you are on your way back, it is anyway going to trigger, so that's useless for us.
And here I have to go all the way around instead of using the other door because there's a guy in front of it. And tap W upstairs. Faster than slow walking upstairs.
This is, by the way, different from the glitch that we described in Sarah. This is just skipping the animation of walking for some reason while doing the step down or up, and it's just a bit faster.
Yeah. This one doesn't have a strict requirement like 10 milliseconds. It's much more lenient. Reloading this sets me forward a bit.
Oh, you're not gonna show the clip.
You know what? I'll do the clip.
You can even show that it allows you to do something with those guys. So this is totally useless in the run, but it's a possible thing to do.
Phew, okay, just made it in time. There we go. We clip to the gate. And now I can choose sprint in here where normally I couldn't.
J'ai des amis, mais pas ce genre d'amis.
Je vais te dire ce que j'ai, moi. J'ai un marin là-bas qui bosse sur le bateau.
And you can also punch.
Il s'est cogné la tête.
I can also punch, which normally I
Son
couldn't.
costume blanc est impeccable.
Merci. Je vais le chercher.
This is obviously slower because you need to clip through it. But it's a funny thing.
Je savais que tu trouverais un vrai boulot. Bon, n'oublie pas. Reste discret.
Unfortunately, that wall clip doesn't work on most walls. It needs to be thin enough.
And if the wall is actually thicker, it's going to like let you in, and then you need to do another clip, which very often can kill you because there's again the fall damage that happens on certain terrains.
Ça va passer comme une lettre à la poste.
Normally I can't punch, but, you know. That guy deserves it. Yes, this is the same wall clip from Mafia 3. We already knew about this for Mafia 3, so we tried it in this game, and because it's the same engine, it still works.
That's great.
And the animation stuff that we do through the script is actually doable in Mafia 3, which we found later.
J'allais nettoyer les toilettes. Des invités se sont plaints.
Volontaire pour nettoyer les chiottes.
There is a Mafia 3, but it's not good.
The game itself is not really terrible, although it doesn't really fit into the Mafia franchise. And the speedrun of it is very long, so that's really not something that you want to get your hands on if you prefer shorter speedruns like this one. There's not too much funny in the Mafia 3 speedrun. It's a lot of driving and a lot of shooting. There's no driving skip like in this game.
Le flingue est dans les chiottes, côté poupe.
For Mafia series, the best speedruns are this and the original Mafia 1. Absolutely. Mafia 2 has some speedrunners, but not too much major stuff. One thing about the original Mafia is that there are a lot of modding tools for that, so we have ways to read the mission scripts and all of that. So in fact we found a couple of scripts just by reading the mission scripts in that. I would love to have that ability in this game as well. Now the modding community has made a script hook which contains a trainer with no clip, give weapon, stuff like that, god mode. No clip is very good to have for testing, but mission scripts would also be great. Alright, the whole reason we're on this ship is to kill a politician guy who is right there.
And it is his birthday, so that's why this mission is called Happy Birthday. Although it's not very happy for him.
Nice, no damage. Oh, well, some damage. Normally we kill those guys down there, but I YOLO. Sometimes I die.
Sometimes
it looks
for
like it
some
went
weird
well.
reason it happens that the checkpoint is not triggered and you have to return and the ship just doesn't come. But for Beecher it worked just fine.
It's because I have to go to the right, I think, instead of to the left.
Yeah, that might be possible. And now we are going to have two missions that are mostly just a chase sequence that we are gonna completely break by the glitch already shown with the timer.
Aucune chance qu'ils se pointent ici. Je travaillais avec eux il y a longtemps. Si Morello se réveille un jour avec l'envie de frapper fort, il hésitera pas une seconde. Fais tout à l'instant.
From the news desk of WLH 570, a special report on crime in our...
For some reason, for that drive skip, I have to drive out first.
Prohibition would cut off the mob's air supply. But 2 years.
Ouais, c'est la voiture de Sergio. Comment
Here it's forced stealth, I cannot be spotted by this guard.
You can do this basically in two ways. You can just stealth like from the front, or you can just run around here and then stealth out of the
Oh no.
gate. That
Somehow
wasn't good.
spotted me.
And after reloading the checkpoint, the position of the guard is actually different, so it might be sometimes harder to pass it on the second try,
Comment je vais faire pour l'atteindre?
unless you pay more attention. I'm not sure if you noticed, but the cars had some weird texture on them, some grayish thing.
Okay. I thought
Yes,
his line would be long enough.
This is what happens when you reload the checkpoint. Yeah.
Should I just go behind him? I think I'll just go behind him.
Voiture de Sergio. Comment je vais faire pour l'atteindre?
Il y a plein d'autres filles. Faut juste que j'oublie celle-ci. Connasse. Par ici!
Did he spot me? Oh. Wow, okay.
That usually doesn't happen. But yeah, this part is a bit tricky when reloading the
Comment je vais
checkpoint.
faire pour l'atteindre?
Let me take it real slow here.
Sometimes you
Go.
can see a guy just grilling something here.
Yeah, and he doesn't care about us for some reason. The grilling guy.
Ouais, je vois.
And the biggest story of the day is that the chief of police
Next,
admits
a
his
bit of a
men
shootout
have
at
yet to
this
have the
diner over here. I'm not gonna be shooting anyone though.
D'abord, on va vous lutter. Après, ce sera votre faute. Allez, allez, faut les lâcher.
And the car chase. Now the bike does not have the boost ability the cars have, and also if I honk with the bike, cars do not move out of the way. In addition, if I fall off this bike, it's mission fail. So I'll be concentrating and Waffle can commentate.
Yeah, so basically what we do here is we need to go to the port, and what we do again is just open the map while we are waiting for while the timer is going down to reset it to 10 seconds. And luckily for us, there's no trigger that we have to hit in this sequence, so we just have to get to the port, and that's basically all we have to do here. So this is really big and fortunate skip for us. However, even if we are at the end and fall off the bike, it is an instant fail and you cannot do anything about it. Driving this motorbike is also a bit hard because the steering is very... it's quite it's not going to steer as much as the car, and you don't have the RAM ability to make it steer very quickly. So usually you just want to take your foot off the pedal and basically just start turning to not crash into something. And we are at the end of the chase.
Reload this checkpoint, otherwise that fail timer is still going. And I would have to like pause every 10 seconds.
Sometimes you are lucky and the checkpoint actually fails you the mission, but it pops up like, do you want to load the checkpoint? You click yes, and it instantly reloads it without any menuing. But
depends on timing.
Yeah.
Depends on when your last pause was.
Now we just run through, and there's a lot of checkpoints in this area, so this is really safe, although it might not seem like that. So there's another checkpoint, there was one on the bridge. And there's going to be one more checkpoint until we get to the main area. Which is not very good to take because it moves you a bit more backwards, so that's a loss of time. The other ones just move you to the correct spot. Or even further.
That's dangerous. Okay, I think we're fine. Alright, this one moves me forward, so it's good.
You can also choose to pick up nades here instead of going to this, but it's not really necessary because it's anyway very quick to kill them, and there's explosive barrels. Or rather, tanks. In this cutscene we are actually able to move, but I haven't been able to find a good way of moving out, although I got all the way to the end of these stairs. You can also freely run through this train because it does have no collision.
Yeah, it doesn't have collision. He's gonna despawn over here. Because logic, that's the end of this mission. We basically killed the brother of the rival down there.
Après la mort de Sergio...
Et voilà, c'est l'instant de vérité.
Reste concentré. Il faut qu'on rejoigne le théâtre avant la fin du spectacle. Tom, tu conduis.
On a eu l'ordre, les gars. Morello crève ce soir. Ce soir, la vache.
And now we have another chase sequence. This one is a bit more tricky because it requires us to hit the checkpoint.
Accélère, Tom.
But it is still very easy to do, and nothing basically bothers us again. This one
is
might
a pretty long one.
This one might be even easier because if we crash, it's all fine. If we crash on the motorbike, we have to reset because we failed it. Assuming we failed. Oh, we fall.
What is Sam doing? He's just looking at
That's new. It sometimes happens that in the first mission you can actually see Sam just dancing in the back of the car, but it seems it happened here like when they are aiming outside of the car, which is kind of... Now we don't have to shoot anyone here, all the cars, we can just ignore them and let them go their way. And soon there's gonna be a checkpoint in Chinatown, which if we drive through, it basically means that the airport where we need to go is going to open.
Si on le perd maintenant,
Va essayer de nous perdre dans les petites rues.
peut-être plus. Je connais cette ville comme
Laisse-moi
ma poche.
s'échapper. Il serait
T'en fais
capable
pas.
de se tirer à l'autre bout de la terre. Si on le rattrape
Normally
pas,
this is a very long chase sequence, even longer than Even this is still long, but the regular one is very long because you go around the whole block over like Little Italy, and here you just go to the Chinatown and you don't have to worry about anything. And again, we are just abusing the map button to reset the 10 seconds timer. And we are approaching a bridge that in regular gameplay sometimes looks funny because there's the flying truck I was talking about, but I haven't seen anyone get it while doing this skip. Usually it just flies here in the air, but here it just passed right on our website. And all we basically do here is just follow the route and get to the airport, which is going to be another shootout very similar to the previous mission.
I should fail instantly here, or maybe not. Close enough. It depends on the timing of the last pause. So that allows me not to have to reload the checkpoint manually.
And again, here we just run through and hope for some checkpoints to work. This shootout is actually much shorter, but at the end we again have to kill some people.
Here I need to reload the checkpoint that pushes some Empoli to me and despawns the people behind. And because I have to wait for some Empoli, I have to... A guy did not spawn there, what?
Oh, you might have to reload that. I have had this happen and it was a soft lock.
Guess I'll try it.
Yeah, try it. It only happened to me once, so maybe that was something else that happened.
It's not soft locking.
Oh, nice.
For some reason that one enemy just didn't spawn.
When it happened to me, I assumed that he just spawned somewhere out of bounds and you couldn't just kill him, but seems like that was something else. And now we have to shoot this plane, basically the motors, which is quite hard to do in one clip, but it is again possible. Each of them. Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Et si, il faut que ça marche. Il est dans un putain d'avion. Ferme-la et laisse-moi tirer. Il n'est pas encore tiré d'affaire. Allez, c'est bon, je prends le volant.
This is unskippable.
Parce que c'est moi le chauffeur de taxi. Et on a un avion.
The game definitely can have more skips. It's very recent and there was a lot of things found out in like a couple of days, so definitely if some people are gonna dig in the game, it's definitely gonna work. Especially with some stuff that we showed rerun, which we don't know how to do consistently, or don't have a use for it. And here we just need to follow the plane.
Yeah, reminder to everyone, go join the community Discord if you're interested in this game, and you know, help the community try to find things in it. It's a very new game still, just a couple months old.
The community Discord is actually for all of the Mafia games, and we are really quite active, I would say. And if you need help with anything, I believe there's gonna be people who are willing to do that. And all of the games except for Mafia 3 have quite decent tutorials, I would say, so that can be found on the speedrun channel. speedrun page.
Speedrun.com/mafia_DE.
On n'a pas le temps de se reposer. On doit être certain qu'il est bien mort avant que les flics se pointent.
Je vois pas comment il aurait survécu. Merde, ça fume de partout. J'en reviens pas qu'on ait fait ça.
Ouais, je sais. Ça a l'air dingue.
Ouvrez l'œil et gardez votre flingue pas loin.
And
There are some side quests. There are side quests in what's called freeride mode.
the freeride mode is actually like an iteration of Freeride Extreme that was in the original Mafia, but it brings like whole new experience. It's not very comparable to the previous one. It has similar technique, but different quests.
Salut mon mignon.
Or similar
Ainsi
idea.
qu'au mec qui reste fidèle à sa bourgeoise. Quel gâchis. Hein.
Some of the missions in freeride mode are based on the freeride extreme missions in the original, but some are like completely new.
Yes.
Trouve un moyen d'entrer et rejoins le Mirador.
For the second time in the whole run, we choose a car from the garage, but it doesn't matter which one we take.
Hey, toi, viens. Approche. T'es avec Tony?
Ouais.
Ton pote m'a payé pour que je t'indique le chemin du Mirador. Tu dois suivre ce symbole. Faut passer par les égouts. C'est le seul moyen. Après, tu remontes.
Alright, first of all I'm gonna keep climbing down this ladder by going backwards into the hole. Skips the animation. I want to not be hit by this guy, and I can just run past him. Next, as you saw in the video earlier, I really don't want to be vaulting over these things at an angle, otherwise I may die.
Maybe we are going to actually see an accidental death. If
Okay, I'll try.
Unlucky.
I'll try.
These levers are actually quite annoying in a way, because if there's some people that are following us in this part and they punch us, they actually reset the lever, but visually it's still turned off, turned on. So basically we see that it's on, but we get out and the gate is still closed, and we have to do it again. But luckily in the first floor, which for some reason we haven't been using from the start, it's quite easy to not get anyone here.
Game always stutters at that point.
If someone follows you and you use this door, it actually despawns them. So if someone is following you, you don't have to worry that they are going to kill you.
We have the slow walk with the epic music. Because we're about to snipe a politician. Oh, he did not die from that. Okay. There we go. As soon as he's dead, I reload the checkpoint, otherwise I have to do an animation where I have to throw the sniper rifle off of the tower.
And it moves you just a tiny bit forward.
In addition, it also gives me a weapon. Whoops.
Oh merde. Je suis resté longtemps dans les vapes.
If you listen carefully, there's an Easter egg here.
Going too much on the left here can actually sometimes trigger the same thing as the windows, where it just instantly kills you. So you sometimes need to be careful there. It is sometimes possible to pick up the health pack and activate the lever, but we haven't found a consistent way for it.
You should be fine on the health, hopefully.
Now we previously had a clip here that was very hard and inconsistent, and then we realized that there's this hole in this cell, so we don't actually have to do that, and it was very silly and was even slower than just going through the hole.
Yeah, the time when an intended start is better than the unintended wall clip. Although if you're doing the no dry skip run, then I think the wall clip is actually better. Because it allows you to keep the same car you came with.
Here we basically just hit the wall or hit the car, and it made a checkpoint, which we reloaded, and it despawns the policeman here. Sometimes it might happen that there's going to be policeman that sees you, but that's very rare, so you can just sit in the car and skip the driving.
Alright, next up is JFR, or Just for Relaxation. In the original game, we actually have a very nice skip for that mission. Unfortunately, not in this one.
Yes, this one actually takes place in a completely different location, so there's nothing even like similar in this mission basically.
In the original game, we have to like go as a port worker guy and steal some crates, and then we come back and Polly and Sam help us fend off the enemies. Here instead we're breaking in stealth, while Polly and Sam are disguised as port workers. And it's forced stealth, because why not?
And it's actually not port, but customs.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Usually we want to just jump out of the car, but if you crash like this, there's no way to really get out of this without losing time. And yes, that is actually one place where we actually jump out of the car, which is possible in this game.
We're gonna see it in the Thovat anyway.
Oh, we are actually. I forgot about that.
This is a long waiting section.
There's actually a couple of ways how to do this mission. You can rush through the beginning, like completely, but it's very dangerous for one of the guys because he will shoot you, which fails the mission, but you are sometimes able to hit the checkpoint, which actually is faster. But we usually take him out just to be sure that it doesn't happen, because the previous checkpoint is quite far away.
T'as entendu? Il va y avoir des gars partout.
Ça va aller. Faut juste qu'on garde la tête froide.
Gardez la tête froide, je sais pas faire. Et tu le sais bien.
gars, vous avez vu l'heure? Putain, on doit passer au peigne fin toutes ces caisses avant le lever du soleil.
Désolé. On trouvait plus les papiers. Mais c'est bon maintenant.
Dis-nous ce qu'on doit faire. On est nouveaux. On est tous nouveaux, mon vieux. Mais certains d'entre nous savent encore respecter les horaires. Venez avec moi.
Tom, ça va être à toi de jouer. Tu entres dans l'entrepôt et tu trouves la caisse de cigares avec les diamants.
D'accord.
Ils ont une trace de tout ce qui entre. Alors fouille les archives. On cherche des cigares du Cameroun qui sont arrivés par bateau sur le Boeing.
And we are finally going to get out.
I hope not everyone fell asleep here.
À choper. Ne fais pas repérer. Rejoins-nous quand t'as terminé.
Because now we're gonna stealth this by just running through it. There are many guards, some of them don't have guns, some of them have guns. The ones that have guns are dangerous because a shot means mission fail.
And some of them actually can see through walls for some reason in this mission. Usually the one that is on our right now.
Then this guy over here is dangerous.
He is the one that is bypassable, but unfortunately if he shoots then it depends on when he shot until we reach the checkpoint to, you know, reload.
Reloading this checkpoint despawns all the guys that are following me and also sets up the guards in the next area in a better way.
Merde, c'est immense ici.
This part might also be inconsistent. There's a couple of ways to do this. You can just wait for the other guy to get on the stairs, or you can just run through because sometimes they don't notice you. It seems that if you are under the construction, they notice you less often, but even with that, sometimes I had them shooting at me, which fails the mission as well. If you get someone following you up to this crate and he punches you, the crate will actually not be active anymore and it will softlock your mission and you have to reload previous checkpoint.
Ok, vas-y, mets la gomme.
Allez, allez, roule! Merde, Tom! C'est pas le grand luxe à l'arrière, hein? Passe par le portail!
Il y a eu une intrusion au bureau des importations. Les suspects ont pris la fuite dans un camion d'import-export. Bouclez le quartier.
Tous les flics de la ville vont nous rechercher.
Alors on n'a qu'à disparaître. Roule à fond, Tom.
Right, so now we need to exit the red area on the map. And we need to not have cops on us when we do. So I'll be avoiding cops.
Usually cops are on the main routes and not in these shortcuts. So that's why we are taking this path.
And this is also the fastest route that we know of. In particular now I don't want to run anyone over, because if I do I have to wait for the cop timer to run out before the next part can trigger.
Getting out of this part is actually quite bad because the car is very large and there's a lot of obstacles. You can also just destroy the fence that is in front of you, but sometimes the fence just acts like an invisible wall, or visible but very solid wall, and that's also bad.
I think it's because there's a broken car behind which is immovable.
Oh, that might be.
J'espère.
Où est-ce que t'étais barré dans la
So you have to go to the right enough.
C'est un vrai labyrinthe. C'est un miracle si j'ai trouvé des caisses.
La prochaine fois qu'on fait ça, il nous faut un
Here the drive skip appears after the dialogue is over. I need to not stop, because if I stop for too long, then that delays the dialogue. But I can go slow.
And you also can't skip your own lines because I believe you can't exit the car and everything is happening in the car anyway.
D'accord. On a récupéré les diamants, le boss sera content. C'est tout ce qui compte pour le moment.
Ils ont intérêt à être plus gros que le riz de ces diamants, vu le nombre de caisses qu'on a dû se farcir cette nuit.
And after this there's just going to be a way to the train with Paulie, which is completely useless, but it wanted to remind us of the old game that actually had a train ride.
Quelle banque alors?
La Grande Impériale. Vers le centre, à côté de North.
Train per type.
J'y suis déjà allé. Y a un bail.
Pas beaucoup de sécurité. Des issues partout.
Fortunately, this train ride is skippable, unlike in the original game where you just wait about 5 minutes until you get to a certain point.
D'autant qu'on touche que dalle.
The original game, we have to walk from Paulie's apartment to the train. Then we have about a 4 minutes and a half train ride, and then walk from the train to the bank. With Paulie's slow walking all the time.
Funny thing about the original version is that the console version actually has the train part just as a cutscene, so you can easily skip it.
Faut voir. Je m'engage pas sur ce coup tant que je suis pas certain.
However, console version also is very slow. At the end of Just for Relaxation, 2 missions left. Moonlighting and Death of Art, which are very fast missions.
Compared to the original, there's just a short section in the Moonlighting. Basically, in the original you have to buy weapons and ideally get a car. And in this version you just appear right at the bank, which is very short, and you just shoot out the bank and run away. Unfortunately,
I think in the original this mission takes about 80 minutes, 90 minutes?
About 80
here
minutes,
it takes like
yeah.
3 minutes.
And this cutscene is unskippable. For some odd reason.
Recherchez le directeur. Vous allez tous gentiment rester à terre. Si j'en vois un qui bouge, on ouvre le feu. Tu viens avec moi. On va au coffre.
As soon as I kill the director and take his keys, I can read out the checkpoint and that warps me downstairs.
This is probably the biggest skip when it comes to reloading a checkpoint.
Here you can see why hip firing with the shotgun is so good.
Prends le fric, on s'arrache.
Whoa, that was a lot of damage.
It's fine.
I know. Although the Thompsons might be tempting, it is probably the shotgun is probably the best weapon because you can just run with it, and even without aiming, you can just one-shot those guys.
Now here we're just waiting for Paulie behind us. Okay, somehow the shotgun blast did not hit that window. That's fine.
Sometimes even in the regular gameplay it happens that Paulie is just staying in the bank and the timer for mission fail is starting to count down, which might seem scary in a run, but usually he comes back. And here we just take a shortcut that police cars usually don't take, and we just hide here.
All we have to do here is lose the cops as fast as possible.
Alarme au club. Club de Sam? Bah, il est vite pour l'instant. Vu qu'il est pas au courant, il risque rien. On y est presque, Tom. On a presque réussi. Tout est dans le presque. On aura...
Alright, last mission. So after the bank heist, we're going to Polly's apartment to check on him and decide what we're gonna do with the money from the bank heist. Unfortunately, as it turns out, a good friend Polly is dead. Feels bad, man.
Le type du dessus a fait un boucan pas possible.
Polly! Polly. Faut que j'y aille. Je suis désolé.
Then we have to go and meet our other friend Sam to ask him for help to leave town. Unfortunately, Sam might be the one who turned us in. So here drive skip and I automatically exit the car. However, I have to walk all the way over there. I'm just gonna take the car there. And then exit. Oh wow, okay. Oh no. Don't enter it again.
Sometimes this can happen even when entering a different car, that you just turn around and enter a different one that is currently driving, which happened to me in a run. And here we just run through and follow Sam. There's some checkpoints that we can reload if we need some HP, but generally this is just running through and hoping we don't die. It is generally very hard to die here until the later point where they have Duparas.
I do need to reload this checkpoint because now I'm gonna be running through a Molotov which does a lot of damage. So this is the hardest section here.
You can also wait for the Molotov to fall on the ground, but generally this is much faster.
Oh, this might be bad. Okay, we're fine.
It's fine. Here there's like 4 people that can be shooting at you and a Lupara guy as well, which is always a one-shot, and even on the lowest difficulty. But this checkpoint just can respawn all of them if we reload it. Here we need to avoid a grenade by holding to the left side.
Oh.
It's usually not hard, but sometimes it deals quite a lot of damage.
Oh no, okay.
Oh no.
Try to hang left there.
This means that we have to do this section all over again. From this circular thingy.
But it's fine.
Still underestimate.
Alors, c'est tout ce que t'as?
Non, c'est pas encore fini, Tom.
Salieri, il nous a tous roulés.
Et moi, je sais où sont mes intérêts. T'es une insulte pour cette...
We don't need to shoot Sam here, he just waits for us to get into a certain point, which also heals us. And there are some guys that are also dangerous because there's the Paras. And there's going to be a final checkpoint before Sam, which we can use if we die.
We get ready on time. Time.
GG.
Well played. Just under 2 hours and 15 minutes, it looks like.
The 158.53 IGT. So, Thank you for letting me play this here. Thank you to Wafu for offering me to run this in this place.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, everyone, be sure to follow both our runner and our commentator, WRP Beater and Kawai Wafu. Do either of you have any final shout-outs that you want to say, or like anything about the community you want to talk about?
Join the Discord. Try Mafia Chaos mod, Chaos percent, on Mafia category extensions leaderboard.
Yeah, that might be a discouraging run. I don't recommend that.
It's fun though.
It is, but you can't take it seriously.
Yep. Be sure to check out all of the different things going on in the Mafia community. You can find it on the speedrun page, speedrun.com/mafia_DE. A couple announcements before we head off for the night. We actually have Crash Bandicoot 4 showcase tomorrow, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's going to include runs as well as some IL challenges. So be sure to check that out. And also, if you want to learn about any of the different Hotfix shows, you can go to gamesdonquick.com/hotfix to see information about all the shows. You can head to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/gamesdonequick, to check out all the VODs. And with that, I want to thank everyone here for tuning in to Testing Grounds. We'll be back not quite next month, but the month after. And yeah, next Friday is going to be Super Boss Bros, so be sure to check that out as well. And we are going to have a lot of new Hotfix shows starting this month, so be sure to check out all that content in between the main events. So with that, have a good night, everyone, and take care.
Good night.
Good night.